What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. After not a couple of recaps this weekend, we are back to recap the full series, and my cat is joining me here because she took up the entire damn desk. And we're going to recap a Phillies series here against the Cleveland Guardians. And the Phillies, they win said series in Cleveland against the Guardians. They win 2 of 3. They win the final 2 games. Hello, Shoko. And final 2 games, I would say, the Game 2 was very entertaining. Game 3 was a stress fest, but it was also entertaining just because of the dominance of Zach Wheeler and also the greatness of Kyle Schwarber. Game 1 was a dud. Game 1 was a dud. Offense, they had so many chances in the beginning of the game to really cash in some runs, give Aaron Nola some run support, and it just didn't happen. And then eventually Aaron Nola didn't build off of his past 2 starts, and he allowed a couple of home runs, and basically the game got away from there. But I blame the offense more than I did Aaron Nola because they had a couple of bases loaded opportunities. They had basically base runners in majority of the innings. They just weren't able to cash in those runs, and they eventually, they lose that first game by a score of 6-0, and I guess you could just throw that one in the trash. But they follow getting shut out 6-0 in Game 1 by a 7-1 victory where Ranger Suarez goes 7 innings, allowing no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts, only 3 hits, and only 82 pitches. I was not expecting that from Ranger Suarez. He was getting quick outs after quick outs after quick outs. I'm actually okay with him not going the 8th inning because it makes sense for him to not go to the 8th inning because especially a guy coming off of a rehab assignment, you don't want him going that deep into the ball game, and he only threw 82 pitches. So hey, a really great bounce back start for Ranger Suarez, followed up by basically the offense piling it on. You see a Bryce Harper 2-run shot, which was great to see, and then just driving in a bunch of more runs to win the series, to tie the series up, and just tacking on so many runs on the board. And then for today's game, Zach Wheeler was just absolutely fantastic. He was pure ace version of Zach Wheeler. This was Zach Wheeler's best start of the entire season. He saved it for Sunday Night Baseball for a chance to win the series, and oh by God, he definitely gave you that chance. Offense wasn't really doing much the entire day. They really didn't get many base runners in today's game, so they had very few opportunities. But thank you for Kyle Schwarber. Thank you for Kyle Schwarber and his ability to hit nukes, because that's what won you this game besides Zach Wheeler. Besides Zach Wheeler's dominance, Kyle Schwarber won you this game. He hits a solo shot in the 2nd inning for his first at-bat on a hanging changeup, and then you also get the huge insurance runs in the top of the 8th inning when you don't know if Zach Wheeler's going to come out for the bottom of the 8th or not. You don't know what's going to happen. And Kyle Schwarber, after Trey Turner, after Bryce Harper aren't able to do anything to move Bryson Stott along the base paths, Kyle Schwarber gets a load of one, and he sends it into the stands, gives you some insurance runs, makes it a 3-0 game, and then your bullpen doesn't look away from there, because I was actually very shocked that Zach Wheeler didn't go out for the 8th inning. They brought in Jose Alvarado, and Alvarado was a little bit all over the place with his command, but he managed to get a 1-2-3 inning, so good on him. And then, surprisingly, they bring in Jordan Romano to close the game and get the save, and honest to God, he was nasty. He was pretty nasty. I'm not going to lie. Jordan Romano was pretty nasty in that bottom of the 9th inning. Not going to lie. He gets the save, so good for him. And that ties in to a Phillies series win, winning 2 of 3. So that's their 5th series win in a row. And that concludes your road trip going 5-1, which I really did ask coming out of the Tampa Bay series. Like, can you go 5-1? Can you win 2 of 3 in Cleveland, especially in a place where you notoriously struggle in the past couple of seasons against a team that you've struggled in the past few seasons? And I think there was a stat before the series even started that the Phillies haven't won a series in Cleveland, I think, since 2002, 2003, or something like that. So, hey, can you do that? Can you go into a series against a team with pretty decent pitching? Can you do that? They did. And their pitching in the 2nd and 3rd game really shut down Cleveland's offense. Shut down Jose Ramirez, shut down Stephen Kwan, and it was very good. It was a very good showcasing. First game, not much. like I said, I blame the offense in game one more than I blame Aaron Nola. If we do look at Aaron Nola's stat line, 5 innings, six hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 2 homers allowed. Joe Ross also gave up 2 runs on a 2-run shot. Kerkering was fine, and then Tanner Banks was fine. Offense really didn't do much. They had 6 hits the entire night. Trey Turner had 2 hits. Nick Castellanos had 2 hits. Then Bowman Rojas had a hit. They were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So game one was really just not much. Not much going on there, so we really don't. If you want to look at the play-by-play, basically, from game one, they did have a lot of chances. They had a lot of chances to put some runs on in the game. Top of the first inning, Stott with a walk, Trey Turner infield single, but then Bryce Harper grounds out, but you do have second and third for Schwarber and Castellanos. Those guys don't do anything there. Top of the second inning, Bohm walked, and he gets the second on a wild pitch. Nothing happens. Top 3, they go down 1, 2, 3. Top 4, Castellanos with a single. But he got thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. Kepler then walks, Bohm then singles, so you got first and second, and Kepler moved to third on a fielding error, but then nothing happened after a Rojas walk. You got, bases loaded for Rafael Marchand. Obviously, he wasn't going to do anything there. And then 4th inning, Manzardo hits a two-route solo shot to get Cleveland on the board. Phillies, nothing happens. Trey Turner singles, Bryce Harper strikes out, then Trey Turner gets thrown out stealing second base, and then Cleveland piles on the runs in the bottom of the 5th. Martinez with a 2-run shot, then another run scores off of a ground out by Carlos Santana, becomes 4-0. Aaron Nola's night is done, and then basically the Phillies offense just wasn't able to do anything that entire night. It was a dud. It was a dud. But then you go to game 2. Game 2, offense exploded, especially in the late part of the game. They put 6 runs on the board in the top of the 8th inning. Very good stuff. And if we look at, just like I said from Ranger Suarez, he was very good in yesterday's ball game. I was very surprised from that performance from Ranger Suarez, but overall, very good. Very good stuff there. So if we just look at the play-by-play from last night's game, it took a little bit for the runs to get on the board. Ranger Suarez getting a lot of quick outs. Phillies, they do get on the board in the top of the 4th inning after Trey Turner singles, Bryce Harper doubles, Kyle Schwarber with an RBI single, so 3 hits in a row there to make it a 1-0 game. Nick Castellanos then fouled out, then Kepler grounded out, so you weren't able to pile on more damage at all. Ranger Suarez continues to get quick outs, which is very nice to see. And then you go to that top of the 8th inning. And it's all done with 2 outs, by the way. So Sosa leads off with a strikeout. Stott grounds out, then Trey Turner singles. Cleveland elects to go to the bullpen. They bring in a lefty to face Bryce Harper, and I guess that was the worst decision possible because Bryce Harper sent the ball into the stands. It was a beautiful shot. It was a beautiful missile. 2-run shot puts the Phillies up 3-0. Then Kyle Schwarber singled. Then Nick Castellanos singled. So you got first and second for Max Kepler, lefty-lefty. He hit a ball hard, and it goes off the left field wall, and that scores 2 runs. It becomes a 5-0 game for the Phils. JT Realmuto then works a walk. Brandon Marsh then singles lefty-lefty to drive home a run, becomes 6-0, and then Edmundo Sosa singles the other way to make it a 7-0 ball game. So offense piled on there with 2 outs, and you didn't look away from that. Hernandez came in for the bottom of the 8th, and then Joe Ross came in for the bottom of the 9th, where he did allow a sacrifice fly to score for Cleveland. And if we just look at the Phillies offense and lineup in totality to look at what they did on Saturday, just stat-wise, Bryson Stott, he had a quiet day yesterday. He went 0 for 5. Trey Turner, he continues to hit the ball. He didn't hit the ball tonight. He had an ugly day, but he's been hitting the ball a lot consistently and getting a lot of multi-hit games. Yesterday, Turner was 2 for 5. He had 2 hits on Friday as well. Bryce Harper, he was 3 for 5 with a 2-run shot. So very good there for Bryce. Kyle Schwarber 2 for 5 with an RBI. Nick Castellanos 1 for 5. Kepler 1 for 4 with a 2-run double. JT Realmuto 1 for 3 with a walk. Brandon Marsh 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Edmundo Sosa 1 for 4 with an RBI as well. And the Phillies, they went 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Cleveland did not have that many chances with runners in scoring position. They went 0 for 2. So that really shows you how much Ranger Suarez really limited to Cleveland in last night's ball game. So a very good win there on the road to tie the series up, and that leads us into tonight's ball game, where I was in New York City today, and we took the train there, we took the train back home, and we got to the train coming home basically right around when first pitch was set to start. So once I boarded the train, booted up YouTube TV on my cell phone, and basically was able to watch the entire game from the train ride back to the car, and then the car ride back home, and then I booted up the TV to watch the final, like, inning and a half. So I was able to watch the entirety of today's ball game, which was very nice. And like I said, there wasn't really much that went down. It was Zach Wheeler's dominance, and it was Kyle Schwarber's greatness. Offense for both sides really wasn't able to do anything. Cleveland only had 3 hits in today's game. The Phillies only had 6, and Kyle Schwarber had 2 of those, and he drove in all of your runs. But Zach Wheeler today, 7 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, 93 pitches. Lowers his ERA to sub-3. Best Zach Wheeler start of the year so far, and his first start of the season not allowing a home run. So that really shows you how dominant he was in today's ball game. Even when he got into some trouble, later on in his outing, he managed to get out of it with huge balls, with huge cojones, and he did really good. And just lineup sake wise, like I said, they only had 6 hits. Bryson Stott, he went 1 for 3 with a walk. Trey Turner, probably his worst day in a very long time. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, but I'm sure he'll bounce back. Bryce Harper, he went 0 for 3 with a walk. Kyle Schwarber, 2 for 4, 3 RBIs, 2 home runs. Was the entirety of your offense today, and this man needs to be extended ASAP. I don't know what's taking so long with a contract extension for Kyle Schwarber. Nick Castellanos, he went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. Kepler, he went 0 for 4. JT Realmuto, 1 for 3 with a walk. Alec Boehm, 2 for 3 with a walk. And then Johan Rojas, not a good day at the plate either. He went 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Phillies did strike out 13 times in this game. Same thing with Cleveland. They struck out 11 times. So both teams in the double digits there. Phillies, they go 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. 6 runners left on base. Cleveland went over 3 with 4 runners left on base. Alvarado came out for the 8th inning, went the whole distance there. 1 strikeout, no base runners allowed. 1, 2, 3, 14 pitches there. Jordan Romano was very nasty in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2 strikeouts, some nasty pitches. And also something from today's game that is going to bring a lot of memes was the umpire cam for ESPN and how bad Alan Porter was behind the plate. You got some very funny screenshots of Trey Turner, one of Trey Turner's strikeouts and one of Kyle Schwarber's strikeouts. Those were funny. Those were very funny. Alan Porter, by the way, he was terrible. He was absolutely brutal behind today's plate. Not even the fact that he was taking so long, like he took his grand old time to call some strike 3s, and some of those strike 3s were not even in the strike zone. It was bad. It was just very bad, not good. Not good at all. And that is just classic MLB umpiring. But the Phillies and Kyle Schwarber overcame that and managed to win a series, which was very fun to see. And if we just look at the entirety of today's game, Bryson Stott with a leadoff single in the top of the first. Trey Turner grounds into a double play. Then Bryce Harper strikes out. Top second for the Phillies, Kyle Schwarber with that leadoff shot off of a hanging changeup puts the Phillies up 1-0. JT then eventually got a double, which then Boehm walked, but Rojas was not able to bring home anybody there. Top for the Phillies, they go down 1, 2, 3. Top 4 for the Phillies, they go down 1, 2, 3 as well. The top 3rd and the top 4th, that's when you got the very funny screenshots of Trey Turner and Kyle Schwarber with the strikeouts. Top 5, nothing happened after Boehm reached on an infield single. But top 6 for the Phillies, Bryce Harper worked the walk, nothing happened there. Then you go top 7. Actually, bottom 6 was when Zach Wheeler got into a little bit of trouble. He allowed a 1-out double to Kwan, and then Sheeman walked, but then got Jose Ramirez to line out, and then Santana struck out. So good stuff there from Zach Wheeler. Top 7, Phillies don't do anything. And then top 8. This is when the Guardians are in their second use at the bullpen for today. Stott with a leadoff single. Then he eventually stole second base. Trey Turner then strikes out. Bryce Harper hits the ball hard, but sadly hit it right to Stephen Kwan in left field. And then Kyle Schwarber in a 2-1 count against a lefty, where Kyle Schwarber notoriously dominates against left-handed pitching. For some reason, it doesn't make sense, but basically, the past few seasons in the Phillies uniform, Kyle Schwarber has been one of the best hitters against lefties in lefty-lefty situations. It's crazy. It is absolutely insane. He gets a hanging sinker on the inside part of the plate, and it felt like he basically just one-handed it out of the ballpark. That's how hard he crushed it. Like, it's just like he one-handed it out of the ballpark. The ball still went a billion feet. That's how hard he hit it. 2-run shot. Phillies up 3-0, and they don't look back from there. Alvarado 1-2-3 in the 8th after getting into some full counts. Definitely fell behind 2 hitters, but good on him for working through that. And then you go bottom 9 for Jordan Romano. 1-2-3, strikeout on 3 pitches on the first batter. Then gets Ramirez to pop up, and then gets Santana to strike out on a very bad strike call in a full count. So I guess some things just work in that favor. Of course, that's the way the ball game ends, on a terrible strike 3 call by Alan Porter. Of course. My goodness. But hey, it's another series win for your fighting Phils. That's all that matters at the end of the day. Series wins. Series wins. And the Phillies have won 5 series in a row. So good on you. Good on you there. Here's a stat for you from Phillies Tailgate. Jordan Romano, since April 20th, he's pitched 6 2/3 innings. He's only allowed 5 hits, only allowed 1 earned run, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, and an ERA of 1.45. Interesting stuff. Just something to monitor. Just something to monitor. Won't look into it too deeply, but it is something to monitor. But yeah, overall, really good stuff. Really good stuff. Phillies are now 24-16 on the season. They're about a 97 win pace according to PHLY Phillies. Only the Tigers, Mets, Dodgers, and Padres have more wins. They've won 5 consecutive series, and they are 11-4 in their last 15 games. Just good stuff. Just really good stuff from this Phillies team lately. Hopefully it looks like they're starting to figure some things out, even though there's still, many guys struggling. Even though Bryce Harper had a really good day yesterday, he still hasn't fully figured it out. But hopefully yesterday finds him a little confidence, even though he went over 3 today. He did have a couple of hard hits, though, that went right to outfielders, so maybe there is some confidence building there. But it's just, like I said, it's just something to monitor. It's just something to monitor. But overall, of the whole collective of this entire road trip, you go 5-1. That is very successful. You're not going to go 6-0 on a road trip. That's very hard to ask, especially after this first series you start with a sweep. So you ended up going 5-1. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. And it's feel-good wins. It's really feel-good stuff here. So that's what we wanted from this Phillies team, after, basically getting embarrassed in Queens by the Mets. They've been playing a lot better baseball. They've been playing a lot better, even though there's some hiccups along the way during those, stretch of these wins. They've been playing more of a consistent brand of baseball that has been more fun to watch, been more entertaining to watch. Starting pitching is always going to be very good. The lineup, there's some guys that are finding consistencies. Bryson Stott has been very good in the leadoff spot for you, especially with the amount of pitches that he sees. Trey Turner has been very good lately, especially with just a bunch of multi-hit games and him getting on base and all that stuff. His average right now is up to 310, and he has an on base of 371. So he's doing something right. I would like to see more power from Trey Turner, but if he becomes a very high average guy and a very high on base guy, I'll take that. I'll take that. Bryce still needs to figure it out consistently. Kyle Schwarber overall is your best player. That's how fantastic he has been. I believe he's on pace for 50+ home runs. That's how much of a tear he's on. And it's not even June. It's not even June and he's going this good. That's the crazy thing. Nick Castellanos, he'll have his good stretches, he'll have his bad stretches. That's just the Nick Castellanos experience. Max Kepler, he's just a solid player. He'll have his big moments. He'll have his, not good moments. That's just the type of player Kepler is. Bohm, he's been getting on base a lot more consistently. And Bohm's actually getting his average up, so he's been getting a lot of hits lately. His average is almost at 250 now, so something. It's at 248. On base still isn't good, and the slugging still isn't good. But overall, his at bats have been better, I guess you could say. He's finding more luck, I guess you could say. Because a lot of people like to say that Alec Bohm's very unlucky because he makes a lot of hard contact, a lot of good contact, but he just gets very unlucky with where he places the ball. I guess now he's finding more luck, and he's getting on base because of it. He's getting hits because of it. So we'll just see how it monitors. Then Rojas, obviously they're going to interchange Rojas and Marsh. Marsh has actually been really good since coming up from the IL, from AAA. So, like I said, it's just stuff to monitor. We'll just see how this stuff carries over. And for the Phillies, they do come back home, but they do face a very hot St. Louis Cardinals team. I believe they've won 8 in a row, 9 in a row, or something like that. I don't think, how many have they won? Yeah, they've won a lot in a row. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They've won 8 in a row coming into Philadelphia. They swept Washington. They swept Pittsburgh. They won a series against the Mets. And their offense looks like it has been clicking. 6 runs, 5 runs, 6 runs, 5 runs, 10 runs, 6 runs. They've been scoring a lot too. So we'll just see where it goes for us against this series. Cleveland was hot coming into this series against Philadelphia, so maybe there's something to it. We'll see. And if we look at tomorrow's game, I believe it's going to be Christopher Sanchez on the mound. If I am not mistaken, yep. Going to be Christopher Sanchez at home against Matthew Liberatore. He's 3-3 with a 3.07 ERA. Did the Phillies play him in St. Louis? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. That was the game they got shut out by the Cardinals. 6 innings, 3 hits, no earned runs, 7 strikeouts. So we'll see if there's some payback there. And then on Tuesday, it's Jesus Luzardo against Sonny Gray. Sonny Gray is 4-1 with a 3.50 ERA. I think he did pitch against the Phillies, if I'm not mistaken. No, he did not. No, he did not. And then on Wednesday afternoon, it's Aaron Nola against Eric Fetty. Eric Fetty's 3-3 with a 3.86 ERA. I believe he's coming off of a complete game shutout against the Washington Nationals. So we'll just see where that leads us. We'll see. We'll see. And then you play Pittsburgh after that, after a day off on Thursday. You go back on the road to play the insanely terrible Colorado Rockies. Holy shit, that team sucks. This team might be worse than Chicago's last year. This team might be worse than the White Sox last year. And the White Sox were historically bad. They got 6 wins. The Colorado Rockies have 7 wins. Sorry, they got 7 wins. They won today against San Diego after losing last night 21-0. So, yeah. They're bad. They are very bad. They also just fired their manager as well, Bud Black. How long has he been their manager? Bud Black, it feels like he's been a manager since I've been born for Colorado. Holy shit. They're bad. They're 7-33. They might be worse than the White Sox last year. They might be worse. It's funny, too, because I think I did see something on Twitter, like posting a comparison of the previous 2 seasons. So in 2023, the Athletics were terrible. They were the worst team in baseball, I think. And then the White Sox topped that, being an historically bad baseball team. And then now, is Colorado going to top that in 2025? That's crazy. It's crazy stuff. I don't know how bad it's going to get for them, but they're pretty bad. They're pretty bad. So that is definitely even though it's looking too far ahead, but that is a series the Phillies need to sweep. Even though it's 4 games, and I know 4-game series are hard to sweep against any team. That's a series you got to sweep in Colorado. After Colorado, you play the Athletics. You're back home to finish off the month of May, and then blah, 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 blah of the rest of the schedule. Trying to see if there's anything else on the Twitterverse. If there's anything that stands out from today's game or any, interview or anything like that. No, I don't think there is. Nope, not pretty much. So we do have a voicemail here on the Anytime hotline. And it's Steven. Leaves a very short voicemail. I think Sean left one on Friday after that game, but Sean did not leave one for today. So we'll get to Steven's voicemail here. We'll get to some of you guys in the chat that are speaking up. And we'll end off tonight. So you guys can, I can also get some rest. It's been a very long day, especially a lot of walking. I am very tired. So let's get to Steven.
Hey, Amadeus. So that's another series win for the Phillies over a very good team. Now, this series offensively wasn't really as good as some of the other ones I've seen, but they got it.
Okay. They did. They won the series. Short and sweet, straight to the point. Appreciate that, Steven. Yeah, offensively, it wasn't the best. Saturday was really good, though, offensively. I'll let it slide this series because I do think Cleveland is notoriously notoriously good with pitching. I do want to see their team ERA this year. Cleveland, that is, just to see where they're at rank-wise in terms of that. Cleveland. No, actually, they haven't been good pitching wise this year. They are the ninth worst team in terms of ERA, team ERA, that is, in baseball. So that's weird. They're usually very good with pitching, but after, the Phillies, they went on that very long stretch of scoring like 7+ runs in like, what, 4 or 5 straight games or something like that. Their offense was due to go a little bit quiet. And they still did score 7 runs in yesterday's ball game, but they definitely do work for some quietness, I guess, in that final series. But you still won it regardless, and that's the most important thing right there. And if we do look at the standings just to see where everything racks up right now, currently the Mets, they have won one in a row. Did they lose that series with the Cubs? I'm not entirely. I think they won that series. Yeah, they did. They won that series against Chicago. So they've won back-to-back series so far after losing two straight series. So yeah, they won Friday against Chicago. They lost yesterday. They won today, and they do play the Pirates to start this week. So we'll see where that goes. That might be a sweep for the Mets. But Mets are 26-15. Phillies are 24-16. Phillies are a game and a half behind the Mets. Mets are a +67 with the run differential. Phillies are a +23. The Braves, they're 19-21. They're 6.5 behind the Mets, and they are 5 games behind the Phillies. The Washington Nationals, they're 17-24, and the Miami Marlins, they're 15-24. The Central, the Cubs are 23-18. The Cardinals, they've won 8 in a row, which is very shocking. They're 22-19. Milwaukee is 20-21. Cincinnati is 20-22, and the Pirates are terrible. They're 14-27. They just also fired their manager as well. The West is still a bloodbath. LA is 27-14. San Diego is 25-14. The Giants are 24-17. And the Diamondbacks are 21-20, and the Rockies are 7-33. Looking at the American League, the Yankees, they're 23-17. The Red Sox are 22-20. Blue Jays are 20-20, even at 500. The Rays, they're 18-22, and the Orioles are in last place. Their pitching has been god-awful this year. They are 15-24. Central, Detroit is 26-15. Cleveland is 23-17. Kansas City is 24-18. Minnesota is 21-20, and the White Sox are 12-29. The West, Seattle is 22-17. Houston is 20-19. The Athletics are 21-20. The Rangers are 20-21, and the Angels are 16-23. Who is the best overall team in baseball record-wise? It is the Dodgers. The Phillies are record-wise the 5th best team in baseball right now. The Dodgers, the Padres, the Tigers, the Mets, and the Phillies. Then the Giants, the Yankees, so on and so forth. And the Guardians, they are the 6th, 7th, 8th best team. 8th best team, so he won a series against the quote-unquote 8th best team in baseball. So, something, I guess. It's definitely something there. But yeah, good series win. That's all it is at the end of the day. Good series win. And it looks like the Florida Panthers are going to tie the series with the Toronto Maple Leafs. That momentum has definitely shifted. It definitely has. Ever since Anthony Stolarz went down, Toronto losing that game in overtime in Game 3, yeah, the momentum has definitely shifted in Florida's favor. I do not see Toronto winning this series now. The momentum has just clearly shifted. Granted, they're getting shut out right now, so it's not all in the goaltending, but it does feel like a goaltending shift, in my personal opinion. But yeah, let's get to the chat here. Then we'll end it off. Did a lot of walking today. I actually want to see how many steps I took on my health app on my iPhone. Took just over 14K steps. Just over 14K. So overall, did a lot of walking. We decided to walk. We took the train, obviously, to New York, and we got off at Penn Station, Madison Square Garden. So basically, right next to Madison Square Garden, if you walk a couple of blocks, is the pier base or the waterfront area, and there's just a gigantic walkway that just stretches basically the entire city. So we walked from Madison Square Garden, which is around 34th Street, I believe. We walked all the way to 71st between 71st and 74th Street in New York City. So we basically walked 40 blocks. So it was a lot of walking. We didn't walk back, obviously. We took the subway back, but did a lot of walking. A lot of walking today. Tyler, 5th series win in a row. TBH didn't feel like it. Franco, David Dombrowski better give Kyle whatever he wants. I do agree. Same thing, Julian. Why are they waiting for to extend Kyle Schwarber? I don't know. I do not know. Star Wars, Schwarber was all the offense today. Yes, he was. And he is one of the main reasons why they won. Good for Bohm having a good series against Cleveland. Yeah, Bohm definitely has been a lot better at the plate, but the power just, like, the extra base hits need to be there. The whole infield as a whole, the power just isn't there. So, that's basic. Like, seriously, the only source of power consistently that you are getting is from Schwarber. That is something this team is desperately lacking, is a power bat. They need another power bat in this lineup. That is something that they're really lacking. Because especially with Bryce, struggling the way that he is, even though he had a home run yesterday, he's not doing it consistently. They need a third power bat in this lineup. They just do. They need it desperately. If Turner gets 300 mil, Schwarber is worth 500 mil. Wouldn't 30 by 120 do it for Kyle Schwarber? Yeah, it probably would do it. It probably would do it. I would assume it would do it. I'm just not sure what he wants. I'm not sure. Is his agency Scott Boras? Is Kyle Schwarber a Scott Boras guy? Let's see. Schwarber agent. Agency. Who is Kyle Schwarber's agent? Who is Schwarber's agent? Okay, it's not Scott Boras. His Excel Sports Management. That is his representation. So he's not a Scott Boras guy, because if Kyle Schwarber was a Scott Boras guy, he'd be 100% hitting the market. But I think they do extend Schwarber. I wouldn't see why they wouldn't, personally. But you never know. Dave Dombrowski does some stupid things. Bohm needs to be traded. There is 0 power from the infield right now. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to doing that. They, like I said, they really do need to address the power in the lineup. They desperately do. That is something that they really need to address at the trade deadline. I know a lot of people keep saying bring up Otto Kemp. Is he ready yet? I know he's like bursting the ball down in AAA, but I know he's like, 24, 25 years old. Is he ready for Major League Baseball? I have no idea. Let's see Otto Kemp's numbers. Does Otto Kemp play third base? Does he play third base? Yes, he is a third baseman. Third baseman. He's 25 years old. He's batting so far this year 324 with a 426 on base and an OPS over 1061, basically. He's got 10 home runs, 36 RBIs. Yeah, he's definitely worthy of being called up. 100%. He's worthy of it. It's just that right now Bohm's blocking him. So do you try to trade Bohm maybe for some bullpen help, and then has Kemp become your third base replacement? Is that good enough? Is that fair to Otto Kemp? I don't know, because you're basically like, oh, we're trading our third baseman away. Here, Kemp, take the job. Take the job. It's yours to run away with. Is that fair to a young guy? I have no idea, especially for a team that's trying, quote unquote, to compete for a World Series. I don't know. I don't know if that's fair. I'd rather get an established bat for third base. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do, but they do need to get another power bat in this lineup. They definitely do. JT better be catching for Nola, because Nola's ERA with Marshawn catching is gross. Yeah, it is a drastic difference. I don't know why. I don't know why it's so drastically different. Because I know, like, over the course when Stubbs was the backup catcher, like, Nola always had Stubbs catching him for the most part. Like, JT would catch him too, but there was a lot of games where Stubbs was Nola's catcher, and Nola would pitch very good games with Stubbs as his catcher. I don't know if Rob was trying to find that type of magic again, that it doesn't really matter who calls Nola's games. He'll be fine. Maybe Marshawn does have that, like, not that a good ability to call games. I don't know. Getting 3 touchdowns scored on you will do that to a manager. Zach Wheeler was a beast tonight, and the bullpen got 2 1-2-3 innings tonight. Yeah. The bullpen, surprisingly, has been pretty solid lately. Am I expecting it to be that good the rest of the way? No, they definitely need to make some type of upgrade to the bullpen, just to give some rest to Jose Alvarado, because his arm is going to be putty with the way that they use him. Do I live in South Jersey or South? I live in Philly. I live in South Philly. I live in South Philly. I just took we drove to Hamilton to take the New Jersey Transit line to Penn Station in New York. That's what we took. Because it's like New Jersey Transit's not as expensive as Amtrak. So it's definitely a cheaper option just to drive like a 40 minutes to Hamilton, New Jersey. You get on that station, and it takes you to New York Penn. And a few stops there. It's like depending on how many stops they do make, it's usually like around an hour and a half train ride to New York from Hamilton. We actually got lucky with the train coming home. It was an express that skipped a little bit of stops, so it wasn't as many stops as it should have been. So instead of it being an hour and a half, we maybe an hour train ride. So it definitely was a lot quicker. So yeah, it's a overall solid day. Hopefully everyone had a good Mother's Day as well. Hopefully everyone did, celebrating with their mothers, husbands celebrating with their wives and all that stuff. Just celebrating the mothers out there. So yeah, and the Phillies got the mothers a win as well. It's always nice seeing the pink bats being used. Always like all that stuff. Especially for Father's Day, they need to start using like the blue bats. They use a lot of pink bats for Mother's Day, which is very awesome. I love that. They got to do the blue bats for Father's Day. They got to petition that for baseball. But that'll do it for today, everybody. Very tired. So I'll let you guys go. Sunday night. We'll see how this goes tomorrow. Phillies start a series with the Cardinals this week. Homestand. I will be at tomorrow's game, so recap won't be instantly after tomorrow night's game, depending on if I leave early or not. I really only leave early if the game's like a blowout the wrong way. So you'll see something in your subscription feed, so don't worry about that. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and also don't forget to leave a like and drop a comment as well. You can also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SEATGEEK. A great deal. Do not pass it up. And also leave a follow at TTPSports on TikTok and Instagram. So thank guys for tuning in today. Phillies win another series. We'll see if that continues.